Everyone loves to give advice these days as if they have some sort of expert opinion on the topic. I have a doctoral degree in biochemistry, got a little bit of nutrition expertise. Let's go through some of these TikTok nutrition advices and see if any of them are worth following. Intermittent fasting made easy. Let's go.
Wake up at 8 a.m. Do not eat until 12.
Wake up at 8 a.m. I already feel lost. Does it make your life easier in any way to wake up at 8 a.m.? Your day probably starts 2 hours before 8 a.m. My heart already hurts, but it's easy. Okay, let's continue.
Not eat until 12 noon.
Do not eat until 12 noon. Okay.
From 12 noon to 8 p.m., eat what you want. Stop.
From 12 noon to 8 p.m., eat whatever you want. Cases of beer? Check. Entire pizzas? Check. Centerfold position underneath the soft serve machine at McDonald's? Check. Eat whatever you want for a full 8 hours. Anything.
Stop eating at 8 o'clock. Rinse and repeat.
Stop eating at 8 o'clock, rinse and repeat every single day. So every single day, cases of beer, whole pizzas, centerfold underneath the soft serve machine at McDonald's. You're styling.
Rinse and repeat every single day.
So to give this guy a little bit of credit, does he offer any sort of result for following this method? No. Absolutely none. To give him some credit there. He does say intermittent fasting made easy. If you eat from noon to 8 p.m., leave all the other times eating nothing. That actually just follows a pretty typical eating schedule where I have lunch, I have an afternoon snack, and then I have dinner. Okay. If you wanted this to help you with so you feel a little bit confused now. He does tell you how to do intermittent fasting. If you eat in an 8-hour block and then eat nothing in a 16-hour block, you do fast intermittently. You also fast intermittently if you sleep from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. and then you wake up and have breakfast. Does this yield any particular benefit? Honestly, since most people skip breakfast and have dinner later in the evening, I honestly think he just outlined a regular person's eating schedule. You wake up, you rush out the door to work, you have your first meal at lunch, you have your last meal at the end of the day. It looks like, honestly, he's just described what everyone else already does. So, he's made intermittent fasting so easy, he just described what you already do. You're a winner!
If you want to lose weight and reduce bloating fast,
do you want to lose weight and reduce bloating fast? You know, I've heard about bloating a lot in a lot of videos and a lot of articles, like bloggish articles on fitness and other websites. Have you ever actually heard somebody describe what bloating is or what it means? I've actually had it happen about 0 times. It just turns out it's like one of those words that when you say it, everyone sort of agrees. What does it really mean though? Maybe it describes this sort of feeling of abdominal pressure that people have? Anyway, let's go.
fast, then you need to do this.
Oh, then you need to do this. Or else. What? Oh my goodness, you need to do this. The Jehovian commands.
Take cucumber, lemons, celery, green apples,
Cucumbers, onions, celery, green apples. Looks like ginger.
and ginger root. Then you're gonna juice them all together.
Juice.
When the juice is made, you're gonna pour it into 8-ounce cups and drink them for breakfast and lunch.
Then juice them and pour them into 8-ounce cups. How much of this do I put in? What if I have less than 8 ounces of those things and I have less than an 8-ounce cup? Did I do it right? I need to do this or else. She said, I need to do this. I have to juice and put it in 8-ounce cups. But how much of each? What kind of cup? How fast do I blend it? Do I strain it? I feel kind of stressed out because I need to do this. Let's go through it one more time.
If you want to lose weight and reduce bloating fast, then you need to do this. Take cucumber, lemons, celery, green apples, and ginger root.
Okay, I watched it again just to make sure to see if she actually gave direction as far as amounts.
All together. When the juice is made, you're gonna pour it into 8-ounce cups and drink them for breakfast and lunch.
Drink them for breakfast and lunch. Do you have any idea how much she indicates to use of any of this stuff? Let's look at this one more time and see how much she adds. Okay, so she has 3 cucumbers and 2 lemons. Let's just go by this. Let's count this as the recipe. 3 cucumbers and 2 lemons, a celery stalk, and 3 green apples, and some ginger root. Okay, she has what? 3 cucumbers, 2 lemons, 3 apples, some ginger root, and a celery stalk. I think I got that right. And she says pour it into 8-ounce glasses. And here she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 times 8, I think equals 96. So she managed to get 96 ounces worth of stuff out of those ingredients. And to boot, all of these glasses have different colors. I feel very impressed right now. Very impressed. Let me know if you managed to get 96 ounces worth of material out of that stuff in a variety of colors. You need to do it, I guess.
3 things I never consume as a nutritionist.
3 things I never consume as a nutritionist.
Kind of scary. Let's see.
First is butters made with hydrogenated oils such as canola oil or soybean oil. These oils are super inflammatory. My go-to is grass-fed butter like the brand Kerrygold.
Interesting. So she does say to avoid hydrogenated oils, which, okay, as a general rule of thumb, lowering consumption of hydrogenated oils has gotten generally accepted across the population, and even some government interventions suggesting to lower that. Okay, understood. I also agree. Now she pans the camera over different vegetable oil foodstuffs, and you notice she spent exactly 0 time looking at the label. And she spent 0 time looking at the label because a vast majority of companies have actually swapped out their hydrogenated oils for still stabler oils at room temperature, things like palm oil. They still introduce oils that give the same sort of physical characteristics to maintain mouthfeel and the general physical properties, especially at room temperature. Although if you check, a vast majority of companies, or rather a lot of companies, have already transitioned out of adding hydrogenated oils to their foods. Something to consider. Now, the addition of grass-fed butter, do I consider that necessarily better? No. In the grand scheme of things here, if you equal the calories and you get it from palm oil, or if you get it from butter, maybe the plant source would do you a little bit better. Again, the dosage makes the poison here, and I consider it a little bit strange that she conspicuously avoided looking at the label. Do I recommend downing hydrogenated oils? No. I also might challenge you to can you find anything that consists of a ton of hydrogenated oils in the supermarket now anyway? Which good. Next, processed carbs. Whatever that means. You know what processed means? It means you've done something to it, just so you know. Although I have noticed in watching a lot of videos like this, processed carbs tends to mean put in a wrapper, which kind of a lame rule of thumb, as an aside.
Second is processed carbs, especially from brands such as the one shown here. They often
Especially from the brands, like the one shown here. So another just blatant panning of the camera across a supermarket food aisle saying, no, 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 no. Man, how does this help us? Avoid these brands? Does this have anything to do with the food?
here, they oftentimes have added sugars.
They oftentimes have added sugars. It does take a little bit of sugar to make bread. Did you know that yeast use sugar to make carbon dioxide, which makes the dough rise? You make bread that way.
Have added sugars and suspect ingredients.
Added sugar and suspect ingredients. I would like to hear her information on suspect ingredients. I love to hear about suspect ingredients. My biochemist hat goes right on. I love chemicals, by the way, for different reasons, okay? If she does tell you to avoid these things as a nutritionist, leveraging her nutritionist title to persuade people into avoiding buying these sorts of foods or consuming them from these businesses, it would help us as consumers to know if to avoid suspect ingredients, what suspect ingredients to avoid. Do they exist? Maybe? How would we know? How would we really know? Some people have the rule of, well, if you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. And Dr. Kashey would say, pick up a book and find out, or call me and ask, I'll show you. Because if you can pronounce it and you can eat it, well then as a biochemist, I can eat whatever the hell I want. You can eat whatever the hell you want too, by the way. Let's continue.
Last but not least, fake meat.
Fake meat. I wonder if she counts fake milk. We'll find out.
These products are highly processed and not...
These products are highly processed. Yeah, if you have a vegan diet, it takes quite a bit of processing to eat foods that look and taste like non-vegan foods, and you can still get all the vitamins and minerals it takes to survive and eat a reasonable amount of calories. The processing in and of itself, in a vast majority of cases, increases the shelf life, makes it easier to digest, and in a lot of cases, for a lot of people, makes it taste better. If that increases the likelihood of overeating that thing, we would actually consider that a topic for a different video. In this case, she looks like she has a problem with processing, and does she really tell us what processing means? If you cook something, you process it. If you chew it, you process it, which might sound a little semantic, although what do you call this? It looks like she has something against, apparently, food in packages, or possibly what a scientist would call a formulated food, which really just means a food with a recipe. So I wonder if this matters if you cook food, processing it, adding a bunch of ingredients, formulation, and then putting it inside of, let's say, a Pyrex dish and putting it in the fridge. That makes it a heavily processed food already in a container. So keeping things like this in mind help when looking at this sort of advice of what advice does she really give. We can peel back the onion a little bit and see that she basically recommends that you stay away from food in packages, which again opens up another can of worms and really constricts us in the sorts of foods that we can consume and still stay healthy and still make progress.
Nearly as good for you as organic grass-fed meat.
Fake meat is not nearly as good for you as organic grass-fed meat. I wonder why. I could make something up and say something fancy for the video. Although she leverages her title as a nutritionist, she says it is much healthier. Again, what does healthy really mean? We throw this word around a lot. Now, she might mean something like it is a higher protein content and a wider array of amino acids, and more of the amino acids that help with things like building and retaining muscle mass, differences in the fat distribution. Really, she might recommend ground meat in a package too. Also heavily processed. You know, that meat started out as a cow eating food, and then it managed to get into all ground up and put in a package somehow. So again, with this processing stuff, if you hear that as a term to stay away from, just perk your ears up a little bit and see if you get further explanation. That settles us. If you like these videos, make sure to subscribe. I'll see you for the next one.